We here, the Bento Boys Black Bento Podcast, episode 11. This is your boy Meech, and to my right, I have
your boy Nizzy,
and to my left, I have
your boy Drew.
And we got a special episode for you today. So we're gonna do something a little different. Instead of a culture episode or a ranking episode, what we're gonna do is we have a tournament style competition. So here's the idea behind it. We have 16 animes. 4 chosen by each one of us, and then 4 that we chose together. We're going to put them through the ringer, debate the animes with each other, and whoever wins, what we're going to say is better.
So essentially, it's like a debate. Whoever isn't, so like I put an anime like anime A, and Andrew put anime B. We'll debate for 2 minutes apiece, and Dimitri will decide whose argument was more convincing. Get the point. So, a little circuit just to see how it goes.
Yeah, this is just something fun. I mean, even if the results come out like, say, like fucking Yu-Gi-Oh wins the whole fucking tournament or whatever. Granted, we're not saying that Yu-Gi-Oh is the best anime out. All anime is better. This is just a debate show, the debate episode. So, who just made the best argument?
Word. And if you guys don't like who won, or
we don't care.
Don't want around, we do care. just put it up in the Discord and let us know what y'all think about the anime. And we can have that discussion there.
All right, so before we begin this tournament, I'm going to tell you guys the matchup. First, we have Parasite versus Attack on Titan. No?
No. Parasite versus Attack on Titan is the first match.
Oh, the first match. Okay, so you're telling the first match. Okay, not the whole thing. So Parasite versus Attack on Titan. Parasite is the anime that O'Neal chose for some reason. And then Attack on Titan is one of the ones that we all chose. And Andrew's going to take up the mantle for that. So we can do rock, paper, scissors real quick to see who's going first.
You go first if you like.
Oh shit, Andrew wants to go.
Do you want to?
Sure, I'll take it.
So we have Andrew going first, representing Attack on Titan. Do I have the timer, please, O'Neal? Can I see it, please? And Andrew, your 2 minutes begin now.
Cool. So I have 3 points where I believe Attack on Titan is going to take this round, and actually probably for the whole bracket. Attack on Titan is probably one of the best anime that we have seen, hands down. 3 reasons why I think that Attack on Titan is probably one of the best anime that we've seen is one, it does a phenomenal job with plot development and concept. Attack on Titan is probably one of the dopest and most creative concepts we've ever seen, and very original. One, it's a world where people are stranded and secured behind borders and walls, and we don't have no idea why, but all we know is that people outside these borders and walls are trying to eat them. And from there, it just elevates. The story goes into explaining why they're behind these borders and walls and why they're trying to be free from this oppression that they're facing. 2, the originality of it is beyond most anime of its same type of caliber, and even anime in general. There's no anime that have really shown to have this type of plot or anything relatively close to how Attack on Titan even came up with the concept of having these giants outside the wall. 3, the character development in it. The character development in Attack on Titan is outlandish, and they don't just focus on one single character. They focus on multiple characters, which is a lack of a lot of anime. They do a good job in showing how each character develops towards a goal and towards something that they want to develop within themselves. And even how they overcome these goals or overcome the problems that lie within themselves, and how they transform throughout the show and become better, or even just change. Not even necessarily for the better, it could be for the worse. And that's why I'm nominating Attack on Titan over this one, or in this one over Parasite.
All right, that's a good argument, O'Neal. Andrew, I think you made some good points. O'Neal, are you ready?
Let's go.
Parasite, here we go.
Okay, so Parasite's a shonen horror anime about parasites or aliens that invade the Earth. The show follows the story of a boy named Shinichi, who's originally nerdy, shy, and timid, and he gets bullied a lot. One random day, parasites rain from the sky in like a cotton ball effect, and one lands in his window, crawls into his bedroom in the middle of the night, jumps on his bed. It wakes him up as it tries to go through his nose, and since it couldn't make it through his nose, the parasite panics and decides to burrow into his right arm. Immediately stopping the parasite by wrapping his arm up with a wire, he prevents the parasite from reaching his brain, which was his original destination. As the parasite matured overnight, he went back to sleep because the hole that the parasite made on his hand healed, and he didn't know what was going on. He thought it was a dream when he woke up. But when he actually realized, the parasite matured in his right arm and took over his right arm. So the parasite woke up that morning and deformed his hand and started speaking to him. So his hand morphed into a shape where it had a mouth or eyes, and it was like a person in his hand, an alien. So the whole premise of the show is that this parasite in his hand uses his body as a host and starts to learn what humanity is like and starts to study. So immediately the parasite's reading the books in his room, going on the internet, Googling things. And by the second episode, the parasite could speak fluent Japanese and taught himself everything about humanity. Or basically the shit he could learn in that time. So as the show progresses, Shinichi develops this relationship with coexisting with this freaking alien in his arm and has to deal with that while hiding that shit from his family because he couldn't tell anybody about it. But simultaneously, other aliens are invading other human beings, but they're taking over the body. But the other aliens manage to get to the brain. So when they get to the brain, you can't tell that they're a parasite or not. They just look like normal humans. So these parasites are going around hunting other humans because their main function is to kill whatever host they have. So if they took over a dog, they kill other dogs. If they took over humans, they eat other humans. So now this epic pandemic is breaking out. Humans are dying all over. And Shinichi's the only one.
Time.
I tried to do a biography.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. That's what rebuttal
if
time
you never
for.
seen it, it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's rebuttal time and all that stuff. So, Andrew, you now have 1 minute of rebuttal time. Let me know when you're ready. You ready? You have no choice, honestly. So, and you go right now.
Cool. So just to build off of last time, or my last statement. So another thing that I forgot to mention and why Attack on Titan is so dope is because they put on some pretty cool concepts. So one concept that I'd like to go for first is the concept of transferring these powers on from generation to generation by royal blood. And the fact that they have the ability to hand down not only powers, but also memory as well. Two, the Titan abilities that they bring into play in this. So not only is there Titans, but you get a sense of like real like something that's new presented to you. When you see like mindless Titans, they actually have the ability to speak and are able to hold or have some type of intellect as humans. Another concept I like to bring into here is other society. There's two societies that are present within this world, and the Titans are really just trying to go and become
time.
Mess with this society.
Damn, bro. I lost, boy.
Wait, you got 1 minute rebuttal time, man.
All right, go ahead.
So here you go.
All right, so the main thing with premise is that Parasite is that as the alien and the main character start to bond, they realize that they have to use his ability with his right arm to hunt down the other parasites that are killing humans because Shinichi feels bad. He's the only one who didn't get taken over by the brain, and he could actually work with his parasite to kill other parasites. So he starts to do that. So as the relationship between them grows, Shinichi starts to hate the parasite, but the parasite continues to remind Shinichi that they're just doing what humans do to animals. Like, they're no different. The whole premise of why the aliens were released to Earth was that they felt like the Earth needed a purge of humans because the humans were destroying the planet with pollution. So the premise of the show is to teach humans to not feel so entitled to destroy the Earth, because if someone sent something here or if something was capable of destroying us, we'd be on the receiving end of the shit that humans do to the planet. So that's the premise of the show. And you get to see this parasite who's normally like a machine develop an understanding for humans, and their relationship comes together.
All right.
Fuck, bro. It's a dope ass show, but I tried to explain it in my first 2 minutes. But damn, I am no time. It's just so much detail.
It's a dope show, and it sounded very interesting.
Yeah, you would like it.
But this is a debate.
I know, yeah. I couldn't really...
You spent most of
the reason why he had the upper hand is because we already seen Attack.
Yeah, right.
So he didn't have to waste time explaining what Attack was about. He could just say, this is why it's good. You feel me? I had to explain what the show fucking was, and then say why it was good. You feel me?
Right. So you know the result of this matchup.
Yeah, no, of course.
So Attack on Titan, I'm gonna say objectively, of course, is going on to the next round.
Cool, I got you.
You could just assume the viewer already watched Parasite.
But y'all niggas didn't see it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what we see. We're just gonna base off argument, bro.
But okay, I guess.
And all that shit. You just made it better. If you hit him on that the purpose of anime, like, yeah, I think it would have been harder for me to decide.
Yeah, okay.
'Cause I don't know what the fuck Attack on Titan's purpose is. What, freedom?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so like, I really don't know.
Damn, you're right. I should approach that differently.
Yeah. But it's all right. We live and we learn.
It's all good. Attack on Titan is a phenomenal show.
Right.
So next is Death Note and One Piece.
All right, this is definitely an Andrew versus O'Neal match. So O'Neal chose Death Note,
Obviously.
arguably his favorite anime of all time, and then Andrew chose One Piece, which I think we all know from our experience in Black Bento episode history that One Piece is Andrew's favorite anime.
Champion.
So since Andrew went first last time, I'm gonna put O'Neal on the spot. And let me know when you're ready for your 2 minutes on why Death Note is better than One Piece and why it should win. Ready?
1 second.
3,
All right.
2, 1, go.
So we've all seen Death Note, but the 3 coolest reasons, or the 3 main reasons I fuck with the show so heavy. First being that you follow the point of view of a villain character. Many shows have never attempted this, and this show is iconic for doing this. You follow Light, who originally seems as a normal boy, but he finds the Death Note, and he takes it upon himself to cleanse the world of criminals, who eventually goes mad because he has this god complex and doesn't think anyone should get in his way, and he turns it into a match versus L, as they battle out, him sacrificing people left and right, lying, and becoming this a massive scumbag. 2, you see another favorite thing, the Death Note itself. The concept of a Death Note could have dozens of spin-off animes and movies with different people finding it and seeing what they actually choose to do with it. It makes you question what you would do with it yourself, and if you feel like death is justifiable if the person is bad enough. You know, it makes you question your humanity in the sense that, like, yeah, we don't want to kill nobody, but shit, if this dude is killing mad people and I have this power to take him out, I'm gonna fucking do it. You feel me? So that it puts a power in your hand to play God in a sense, which is why it's so dope. And 3, L being one of the best detectives I've ever seen in the anime, and his creativity and keeping the viewer on suspense if he's gonna ever figure out this battle. Their battle was probably one of the best rivalries in anime because they were rivals, but in a sense they were working together. 1 and 2, he already had a hunch from the beginning it was him, so it was a matter of proving it. So you see what I'm saying? You get into this instant dynamic of Light trying to cover his tracks by being perfect and striving for perfection, and L thinking outside of the box over and over and over again, trying to close the case on this dude. So it's a great show. It's loved by many. It's turned into many live action films and spin-off films. And Shinigami, creative concept. You don't see in many shows. Gods of Death.
10 seconds.
And anything else? That's it.
That's it. It's a good 2 minutes, bro. Andrew.
One Piece.
I'm ready.
Come.
You have 2 minutes to explain this devil fruit and all this shit.
Copy, go.
All right, here we go.
All right, so cool. I think One Piece is probably the most, if not top 5, the most creative concept that there is brought. It starts from pirates. There's not one anime that you can tell me that has come from the idea of pirates. That is a pretty real dope concept that's introduced. 2, another dope concept is the concept of using the devil fruit powers and how they have their effect on the user that eats it. So the way that devil fruits work is that you eat the devil fruit and it gives you powers and abilities, and then based off of the drawback that it has is because in this land of people who are voyagers and move and operate off of sea, they're not able to swim. So they can't really be freely able to adapt to the sea. But they get powers that allow them to combat each other very on an intense level. 2, the nuance and size and creativity of the universe in itself. For people who watch One Piece, they know that it's built off of a world where there's a whole bunch of islands with different characteristics, different settings, different people, different languages, a whole bunch of vast land amongst this sea voyage where everything that's introduced is new. So whenever they head to a new island, you never see 2 of the same things. It's always something that's new and a challenge that's ready for you to overcome. 3, another thing that I like about One Piece is that all of them, granted, they want to see Luffy succeed in their crew. All of them have their distinct, own, and single goal. And a big thing that O'Neal likes to promote is that he likes things that are centered around people having their own individualistic goals, and everything that's doesn't like seeing stories diverge to single characters. He likes seeing characters all themselves have a goal that they want to accomplish, and One Piece does a great job of that, and especially goes back and explains their whole origin.
Woo! I wasn't expecting that last 25 seconds. and all that stuff. But all right, 1 minute of rebuttal time, O'Neal, and you go right now.
Well, one of the biggest flaws of One Piece, in my opinion, would be the inefficiency of it. Is, in my opinion, too long to be digestible for most people. And granted, it has this grandiose universe of all these characters, all these islands, all this setting. But if it's not delivered in a timely fashion, do you still care? There are shows that have started and finished several times over before this show has finished with better shows. Death Note, for instance, a very concise, small universe in a sense that it takes place in the human world and the Shinigami realm. And it doesn't really reach much out of the core characters of the show. But the show is so dynamic and suspenseful within that tiny little circle he created for himself. Also, without having fight scenes and grandiose spectacle, Death Note is able to maintain its entertainment and dominate the charts of anime with simple scenes of reading, writing, and suspense and flicking the camera. There's a scene in Death Note he eats a chip that's more popular than most scenes in One Piece. So, Death Note is a concise and efficient anime.
Time.
Whew.
Ooh, I like this.
Take a shot at this nigga.
I like this. This is what happens when the favorite enemies go against each other. Oh, shit. I like this, Drew. You got your 1 minute left, man? Oh, fuck. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, is you serious, yo? Here we go. Here we go.
Yes, One Piece is long. That's fine. But it's one thing that you like to see, especially in one of your favorite animes, one that you have pit as top 5 all time, Hunter x Hunter. It does a great job in revisiting its characters and pulling out their backstory and making sure the reader or the viewer has a complete understanding of the character instead of just wasting it that you don't like at all ever. So, 2, another thing to combat is that he said that Death Note had a scene in it where Homeboy bites a chip and is one of the most famous scenes of all time. One Piece has scenes like that all the time in every single individual arc. And that happens when Luffy gets serious and wants to combat the enemy. That's not really a big thing to have, considering that the fact that in Death Note, that scene is not even a big part of that's not even the top scene in the show. The top scene in the show is what happens at the end of the show when Homeboy gets shot up. No one really remembers a scene of Death Note where he bites a chip. Everyone goes back to the scene where he gets shot up at the end. So that argument, I don't think is valid in this case.
Time. All right. Well, that was heated. The first round of that debate, man, I didn't know where that was going. The second half of the debate, it got things out a little bit more clear. So I'm gonna have to give it to Death Note over One Piece at this point in time. I mean, I'm telling you, they were haymakers, there were uppercuts, there were jabs, everything in the first round. I will say,
you tied in Hunter. You made it about me as opposed to about Death Note.
Yeah,
and that's what fucked you up. You spent the solid 15 seconds attacking me. Yeah. Like I did some shit to you instead of attacking.
Yeah, wait, hold on, but that could have worked. It was just like you had a minute of rebuttal time and you used 30 seconds of it.
But see, this 30 seconds of it. This is dope because you got to use your time right. Yeah. Like, I was thinking about my rebuttal. I was like, I'm gonna use the first half to attack this nigga, right, and then use the second half to boast of my show. Right. So it's actually fun as fuck. Yeah. So Death Note, I think Death Note deserved that one.
Death Note got it.
Yeah, word. That was a fair jump.
Damn, Drew, that was your number 1 seed, huh, bro?
Damn man. On the first round, Luffy fans in the chat. Gum. Fuck that shit. Yo, all the Luffy fans, he let y'all down. Y'all watched 900 episodes for no reason.
Man, you lucky the moderator was leaning towards you. All
right.
All I gotta say.
Nah, bro.
You lucky the moderator was leaning towards you.
So up next is
Pokemon versus Akame ga Kill. So Pokemon was the anime that we all chose. So I don't know if Andrew O'Neal wants to take that one.
You could take it, bro.
I'll deal with it.
And then Akame ga Kill was an anime of my choosing.
Yes, sir.
So, Andrew, you can decide who goes first on this one. Me or O'Neal?
I mean, you could go.
I'll go first. So, let me know when you're ready for my 2 minutes. I probably don't even need 2 minutes, to be honest.
Woo!
Big things
popping. All the smoke, boy.
Big things popping.
Go ahead, Meech.
So, your boy Meech here is supporting Akame ga Kill. So, Akame ga Kill, for those of you who haven't watched it, is an anime about people... about an organization called a Night Raid who want to overthrow an oppressive government. So the way the system is set up, you have the government in the middle of the country, which is the capital, where all the rich people, wealthy people, nobles, all of them live. And the further you get away from there, they're poor, middle class, peasant people. and stuff like that. So the peasant people have dreams of, yo, if I make it to the capital, I could change the world that happens in the peasant world. Lo and behold, the main character wants to go there and be a warrior for the capital. He goes to the capital and he finds out the capital are people who are actually exploiting the people below them. So then he runs into the group called the Night Raid, who the capital at that point in time are painting as a bunch of people who are trying to overthrow the capital and in turn overthrow the country. But he finds out the Night Raid actually discovered the oppression that the capital and the brutality of the capital, and it's actually seeking to overthrow them so that the country government is fair to everybody. And then the main character, he joins and he works on that mission. So it's a dope concept because not only that, it's something that's very relatable to the world in general. We look at Africa, we look at Asia, we see oppressive governments everywhere. You look at America, and we like to believe that our government is all for the people. Whether you agree with that or not, it's a concept that can resonate with a lot of people all over the world. I think that's one of the few animes that can actually do that. It's creative. They have these weapons called Imperial Arms. Well, first, people fight weapons. Imperial Arms give these people who are fighting, the Night Raid or the warriors for the capital, impressive abilities in which they can fight. It's a cool concept because it is said in the show that people who have Imperial Arms, when they face each other, one of them is going to die regardless. And their Imperial Arms is going to be taken by...
Let me know when to go.
Go ahead, young Niz.
Yeah, this time shit.
So, obviously, the winner here is obviously Pokemon. Right. Pokemon is one of the most iconic anime in anime history. Whether you agree or not, you've seen or heard, or someone around you knows what Pokemon is, or they did know. First point was that it's iconic. The intro was phenomenal. And it set a standard for shows that included monsters or catching things. There's other shows like Digimon and Yokai who did not survive in the shadow of Pokemon. They didn't stand a chance. Second point, the creativity is unstoppable. The show is literally over 200 plus characters in the first 2 seasons alone, with the characters being evolutions of other Pokemon. And on top of the Pokemon designs itself, you also have types, and the types that are effective against their enemies. And all of that takes immense amount of creativity to not only create, but to keep balance and to not forget about. Third point, it's timeless. There are not many anime in human history that you can say it's freaking timeless. You can remake Pokemon over and over and over again with a different cast of Pokemon in a different island, with the same main character and the same Pikachu, and kids will still love it. It's one of the few shows that at all ages, adults and kids can watch it. We've grown up with it, and now if we have children, we can watch it with them and still enjoy it. It's one of those few shows that come along once a generation, like DBZ, and it's untouchable. Granted, if you're not a fan, it's fine. It's child-friendly, but not only mention that, it's spun off a card game that's immensely popular, and the video games, which people probably play more than they watch. The video games alone have some of the best-selling numbers in gaming history, and the depth alone in the competitive sense is unmatched. Like, Pokemon is a GOAT anime if you have the patience and understand its core. And that's what's my time?
Yes, 5 seconds.
It's the GOAT.
Okay.
Give me my 1 minute, bro. So give me my 1 minute right here.
And go off, Mitch.
I hear everything O'Neal's saying about Pokemon being timeless, and I agree. It is timeless to an extent. So when I think of timeless, I think it's something that no matter what it is, I will never lose sight of it. So when I listen to a Kanye album, and I think it's timeless, I'm listening to the Kanye album when I'm 60, when I'm 70, when I'm 80, when I'm 90 years old. Pokemon, I will argue, is not being timeless because I played it up until Sinnoh Reach, up until Black and White. Pokemon lost me when it started going into the Mega Evolutions and all these new generations of Pokemon, and I know for a fact that everybody at this table has not played a Pokemon game until recently. O'Neal just said he streamed one the other day, and I was like, but we have not been paying attention to Pokemon ever since. Yo, they made it a big deal on Twitter that Ash finally won the Pokemon League, and we didn't even know that Pokemon was still going on. The show was still going on, and the animation is terrible. Numbers don't really mean anything to me. There's a lot of animes and a lot of things that sell numbers does not mean the quality is good. Pokemon's quality, I would argue, has diminished wholeheartedly. Now, Akame ga Kill is, like I said, is anime. I think there's a boost because it's something that's very relatable. Pokemon is not very relatable because shit is completely imaginary. Fucking A, that's time. That's time.
Son.
Yeah, that 1 minute shit's not enough time.
Because your feelings involved now.
That's that 1 minute shit is not enough time.
Give me a second. Alright, I'm good.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Hit it.
So, Akame got killed despite having its creative things. I watched the show, I enjoyed it. It failed to captivate a worldwide audience. Although it was popular amongst its people, many people never heard of the show, and you probably never have yourself listening. On the flip side, Pokemon, despite you not knowing what's currently going on, you have some sense of what it was and what's going on in the idea. Ash, people might not like that Ash gets reset, but it's so insane that you could take one character and reuse him in multiple different ways and capture an audience multiple times. Akame ga Kill can capture a worldwide audience in its one run. Pokemon could do it several times over. So, although you might not relate now being older, your cousins, your baby cousins, your family, they definitely do. And when they come to you about it, you can relate because you used to watch Ash too, nigga. So, I ain't even gonna get into it. The movies were dope as fuck.
Okay, you got it, bro. You
got
it, bro. You got it, bro. You got it, bro. You got it, bro.
You got it,
You got it, bro. You got it. Yo, Pokemon. Yeah, Pokemon. Pokemon got it, bro. You got it. That was my number 4 seed. It's okay.
That's how you gotta have a throwaway.
Yeah,
I only lost Parasite, nigga.
Yeah, that's my throwaway.
That was my throwaway.
Yeah,
Parasite's my throwaway.
We're good on that one.
This nigga Andrew lost his main one.
Yo, damn, bro, it's over, man.
Alright, so Pokemon moving forward against Akame ga Kill.
Alright,
But my main one went against your main one, so.
It don't mean nothing.
I know.
Still going, bro.
I know.
Still going.
Next
we have
up is Naruto.
Naruto, which all 4 of us decided. So I don't know who wants to argue Naruto.
This is the entire Naruto saga.
Yes, the entire Naruto
Shippuden,
saga.
Boruto,
all that shit. Yeah, you do all that shit. Cool. And Andrew, he chose Gurren Lagann. So
I'm gonna set this up because
I'll take Naruto.
Yeah,
then.
you can do Naruto. I'll time y'all. And Andrew, you gotta shoot the bat for Gurren Lagann.
So Neil, who goes first? Me?
I'm gonna let
Naruto
go first, just so Andrew can prepare. Cause
okay,
Lord knows this shit about to be crazy. Let me know you're ready.
Go ahead.
1, 2, go.
Anime has Naruto needs no introduction. We have creativity, amazing story arcs, amazing ability, the best battle scenes anime has ever seen. Let me go over that. Right now, we talk about anime fight scenes. Rock Lee versus Gaara. Timeless. Itachi versus Sasuke. Naruto versus Pain. On a smaller scale, Jiraiya versus Pain. No other anime in human history, was able to pull off fight scenes, animation, logic, resolve, abilities, characters like Naruto has been able to do it. So I know for a fact, just off that alone, I can stop talking, and then Naruto would beat Gurren Lagann. An anime that half of you niggas probably never heard of before in your life. Just like Akame got killed from the previous debate and all that stuff. So now we're talking about O'Neal and Andrew's favorite word. The mystique. The allure of the characters. The 4th Hokage. There's a plethora of ninja that you know in Naruto that you know are badass just because they mention their fucking name. We know that Kakashi's father, the White Fang, was a dope-ass ninja just by word of mouth. Just because they said he was on the level of the legendary signing. We talk about Madara. The whole Shinobi Ninja Alliance was shook at his name. This nigga started a war with the whole entire world off the name of Madara Uchiha. The 4th Hokage saved the Leaf Village by himself by sailing a 9-tailed fox into Naruto. It became a legend in the Shinobi world. That people during the 3rd Great Shinobi World or 2nd Great Shinobi World, they said if you run into the yellow flash, run away because you can't beat him. That's what they said. And then that one moment of him singling Nine-Tailed Fox into Naruto set the stage for the rest of the anime. Naruto had storylines, backstories, characters, resolve, unmatched. I'm done.
Damn, bro.
Done.
Damn, bro.
I'm done.
When he said, when you see the yellow flash, you better turn back.
Yikes.
Shit, crazy. Yo, Gurren Lagann, ready?
It gotta be, boy. Showtime.
All right,
Showtime
1,
or no time.
2, go.
All right. Yes, Naruto is well known. It's popular. Has all these things. A big flaw that Naruto has that is completely jabbed at every single time by my fellow constituent here, O'Neal, is that it has this vast universe of characters who they build up and hype up, and like to express a lot of hype and build and character development around just to waste it completely and entirely in the next show. In case you didn't know, in Naruto, they had Neji, they had Rock Lee, they had Ino, they had Choji, all these characters who they like to show, like to put all their time and character plot development and putting all this effort into making sure you know these characters and they exist and they bang and they get their showtime, just to have that completely squandered and wasted right in the next show where one of them dies. You don't even blink a bat of an eye for most people. 2, Gurren Lagann, in case you didn't know, is about an oppressed civilization that does their best in trying to get from underground. They're an underground oppressed civilization that tries to get their best from going underground into the surface world because all they want to do is live free. And from there on, all they see is their oppressor and do whatever it takes and show their resolve in trying to make sure that they ensure and grasp their freedom. Whether it comes from an enemy that lives directly on the earth or an enemy that comes from out and beyond. So what they do is they do exactly that. They go out and fight for whoever is out and beyond and obtain their freedom no matter what. So all that show is to teach you is no matter how the odds stack up against you, no matter who it is, no matter what you're facing, no matter what battles you struggle and go against in your life, that you pull out that odds within yourself and your prosperity and your ability to grow and overcome those odds. So it's very relatable. I suggest that if you haven't watched it, go out and watch it. It might not be as popular as Naruto, but it has a very strong message you should learn.
Let's go. Let's go.
You got a minute?
I got 1 minute.
Go.
Yo, that whole spiel that Andrew went on about odds and shit, that's every shonen fucking anime. Because every fucking character is against the odds. Whether it's fucking Naruto, whether it's fucking Ichigo, whether it's fucking Midoriya, whether it's fucking, I don't know, Dr. Stone, whatever. The odds are always against them. Second of all, the character's not being used. Let's keep in mind that Naruto introduced a whole world of characters. So you had the Leaf Village, you had the Mist Village, you had the Cloud Village, the Sand Village, all that stuff. So, of course, the anime would be a One Piece type of anime where you had, if you focus on all those fucking characters, which I and O'Neal do not agree with to begin with. But like I'm saying, Gurren Lagann, its world was just strict. Most of a large chunk of the anime was confined to underground because these people were underground and they were trying to get up. And can I speak, please? Thank you. Can I get add an extra 5 seconds on or something like that? Can I do that, please? Because he interrupted me.
All right, go ahead.
5 seconds. So like I was saying before, I was really interrupted by Andrew. Like I never watched Gurren Lagann, but I was just going off what he was saying and all that stuff, and he didn't paint that picture well enough. Like I was saying, Naruto had a heavier responsibility, and they did that more effectively. And actually, we're more connected with Naruto because we grew up with the characters. It's not something I was able to say before Gurren Lagann.
Time.
Can you please not interrupt the speaker?
Go ahead.
Yeah, bro. Look at him.
All right.
Emotional.
All
right. Your minute, Andrew. 1, 2, go.
Gurren Lagann was not based mostly underground, to correct you.
Okay.
It was based off of a max of 5 episodes underground in which they escaped and when they had at least another 20 episodes to work with. So that was completely out of your ass. 2, going off of my last name for Gurren Lagann, and actually what Dimitri brought up with these characters who we grew up with. What is the point of growing up with these characters if they waste them? We grew up with these characters in which they showed a lot of plot and development and effort into introducing them and showing what they're about, just for them to not use them for the rest of the show. We don't care what happens to Tenten. We don't give a fuck about Choji now. Because, know why? Because they didn't even care to bring them into light more in the next show. Maybe if they built up on them after the first Naruto and build up into Shippuden about these characters, then we'd have a better picture and actually give a fuck about them now.
Nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? Nigga,
we didn't care about them in Shippuden because after Naruto, they ceased to exist.
Nigga, what are you fucking talking about? You have an anime that's 25 episodes versus an anime that's 500 plus episodes, and you're talking to me about fucking Tenten, bro? About Tenten? Come on, yo, Tenten?
Yo, that was crazy, yo.
Tenten?
People cared.
No one gave a fuck about Tenten. She had 5 minutes of screen time throughout the whole fucking show, and deservedly so.
People care about their characters.
Come on, if you cared about Tenten, you should. Naruto's not your show. You should watch the Fruit Baskets.
So
if you cared about Tenten,
basing this solely on this argument,
I already know it's gonna go, but
Gurren Lagann almost had me. Because Naruto does have significant flaws. It's a great, as amazing as it is just as big as the problems. But Dimitri painted a picture of all the highlights. Andrew didn't really highlight anything significant from Gurren Lagann that I could say, okay, I fuck with that. So I'm going to have to give it to Naruto. But, I mean, I will say, for a show that I have not seen, and what he made, this argument just now, he had a good fight. You should have swept him, Dimitri.
Yeah.
You should have swept him.
You gotta pay it to your moderator.
You should,
Yeah, fuck you, man.
you should have swept
You
him.
a dickhead.
But the only,
I know he did that.
the only
shit.
reason you caught the dub was because you brought up the fights.
Yeah.
Facts. If you ain't mentioned that, I'm like, yeah, Gurren Lagann.
Of course, the fights have to. If I had time to go to the back, that's another story. That's for
Wait.
next round.
So Naruto took that dub, as most of y'all probably anticipated.
Yeah.
Up next is Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer.
So, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is something that we all chose to be up here, and Demon Slayer is one of Meech's selections. So, I'm gonna defend Demon Slayer, and then Andrew.
How's your memory on?
Want to do it from out there, something?
What's your memory like? My shit off, low key.
Your shit off.
Y'all could concede defeat on this one. That's cool with me.
You got Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I got Demon Slayer, bro.
What's
I
your
put it up
memory
there.
like on Brotherhood? My memory right now is.
All right, I could take Brotherhood.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm not that rusty, my nigga. You
All
sure?
right, if you wanna
no,
take
I'm
it,
just
go
saying
ahead.
because
Man.
you watched it 4 times.
Both of y'all taking an L, so it don't matter.
I'll let you take it.
Y'all can argue together if y'all want.
Nah.
Oh, okay.
I can let you take it. I know you want this.
So who's going first?
You could go first.
Well, I gotta go. I went first last round.
I go.
You go.
Yeah, cool.
Give me a second. Let me just.
Hold on. I gotta get the timer ready.
Wait. Let me cook my brain real quick.
What?
Brotherhood, it's been a minute.
Damn, you that rusty dog?
Bro, I ain't watching since high school.
All right, fine. I'll go first. So Demon Slayer, it's your boy Meech. You keep it time.
Yikes. Okay.
You can keep time on this or whatever.
Alright, 1, 2, go.
So Demon Slayer, I know all of you guys have watched it. It's an amazing anime, and it's working its way into the top 10 animes all time. It's definitely probably the best anime manga out right now on popularity. Very creative. So I don't really want to go that deep into the plot, but what's it called? Tanjiro and is a person who found that his sister was turned into a demon. So his motivation is to make sure that his sister turns back into a human. In this period of time, he joins the Demon Slayer Corps, where their sole purpose is to slay demons, and they want to kill the main demon, Muzan. That's creative. So what I think it was the most positive thing about Demon Slayer is how they keep it interesting while trying to keep it based in reality. So instead of other animes having chakra, having a nen, having haki, or spiritual pressure, they use breathing types. And when you breathe, the way you breathe could enhance your abilities. It can enhance your recovery time. It allows you to fight a certain way. It's all based on endurance, and it's very creative. The pillars or the Hashira, whatever they call them, are actually very creative too, because they are the highest ranking members of the Demon Slayer Corps, who have actually all been through their own stories that have molded them into the people that they are today. So backstories are very important in Demon Slayer, and I think that's actually one of the aspects in anime which they surpass a lot of people, which is in character backstory. And although the backstory doesn't actually connect to the story as a whole, it connects to the characters, which I think that makes very much sense. Very much sense. Even the demons themselves in the story, in the anime, have a backstory, which actually plays into the development of Muzan, because Muzan always goes to people who are at their lowest point, who are desperate, and turns them into demons. And I'll leave that round for that.
And time.
Yep.
Andrew, you got all that?
Yep.
You got the timer for this one?
Yeah, I got it.
Alright, let me know you're ready.
Cool. And go.
Alright, so Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is a show about 2 boys who lose their body parts in an effort to use alchemy to bring back their mother. So immediately the show captivates you with this sacrifice or this attempt to resurrect the dead. And it hits home for anyone who's lost anyone, in the sense that you've seen these characters go to whatever it takes to bring back their mom, who they lost. 2, the sacrifice goes wrong, they lose their body parts, and it starts this journey for them to find the Philosopher's Stone, which enhances alchemy for them to bring back their body parts. So the main premise of the show is equivalent exchange, and it teaches the viewers that you cannot take without giving. An eye for an eye, a trade. And you could apply that logic to your real life, in the sense that, like, you should be mindful of what you gain in this world. You most likely have to sacrifice something for it. and the universe will take that from you at some point in your life. So that's applicable to real life. 3, alchemy was creative as fuck. We don't see many shows make use of alchemy, and how the combat scenes were used with characters like Roy Mustang, who was able to snap and ignite fire and explosions just from the friction from his fingers. Dope as fuck. We don't see that in many shows. Next, this show has all elements of a good shonen. Comedy and entertain you. It pulls on the heart with sacrifices of characters. The government is corrupt, and it reveals itself as the plot thickens. The plot literally thickens in this show. By the end of it, you're waist deep in all of this shit from the beginning of the show to the end of all these characters revealing their true intentions and it intertwining into one massive show. The show's arguably on many people's top 5. People love it across the world, and it might be in the running for timeless. People have watched this series multiple times over, and no complaints. Love the characters to death. And that's my goal. What was the time on that?
You had 7 seconds left.
Damn, I should use that shit.
Huh? You are. I thought you were.
Fuck, you got. All right, we gotta say 10 because I needed that 10 reminder. I ain't know how I was at.
And all that. So, all right, cool. So, I get my rebuttal time for Demon Slayer.
Yes, sir. And begin.
All right. So, what I'm gonna focus on the Demon Slayer are the characters. So I think that's the highlight of the show. The characters are very dynamic, and through backstory, they show exactly how the characters end up how they are. Muzan, the main character, he's a demon. Not to spoil anything, but his goal is just to survive his son. You can call it like that. That's not a spoiler and all stuff. Tanjiro, another thing is the characters. It's very based in reality. So what's actually happens in a lot of shonen animes is what we like to call, and O'Neil is not a fan of it. It's called plot interest and all stuff. There's not a lot of plot interest in Demon Slayer to the point that when you get fucked up and if you're not strong enough to face a villain, you get clapped up and you get fucked up wholeheartedly and all that stuff. And it's undetermined. So when people get broken bones, broken limbs, there's none of that shit like, oh, I could persevere through it right now and do it, whatever, to that much of an extent. Like there's actually recovery time. Damn, that's 30 seconds. That's a minute already?
Yes, sir.
What the fuck?
That minute, boy.
That minute right on that
What?
extra heat.
That minute, boy.
All right, you ready, Nis?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So Demon Slayer is a awesome show. I've watched it myself. But the biggest thing I like to say about Demon Slayer, it has the emotional reach with the whole sister. He's on this mission to save his sister. But in a sense, it's very basic. It starts with the most common intro to an anime where characters die and his family is slaughtered. And he goes on this random mission. 2, there's no real depth to his development or training. A lot of things are skipped and wrapped into time skips, like his training session or his grand selection when he became a Demon Slayer. That was one episode. Something as significant as him becoming a Demon Slayer was wrapped up in 1 or 2 episodes. Not very good in my opinion. While on the other hand, Brotherhood, it uses 4 seasons to tell a unique story that even though your favorite characters might not be Ed and Elric or the 2 main boys, you fall in love with the other characters in the universe. You have the dude from Ishvala, you have the homunculi, and all these characters develop their own core goals and concepts that people fall in love with.
Time.
Damn, yo, Full Metal's a deep show, yo.
Damn, bruh.
I tried to take some shots.
Yeah, I should have fucking talked on the dynamic Tanjiro. I should have fucking talked on the relationship with Tanjiro and Nezuko more.
I'm surprised you didn't.
Fuck,
You
I wasn't even
every
thinking.
single time we
I
talk
wasn't even
about this
fucking
shit.
thinking about that.
Every
Yeah,
single
let's
time we
just
talk
go,
about
man.
it.
Full Metal won that shit. We already know that one.
You already know.
All right,
All
come
right,
on.
say no more. I caught that double Full Metal.
Yeah, so we got Hunter x Hunter.
And Bleach.
In
boy. Ichigo versus
Ichigo.
So
versus
you
Gon.
got Bleach. You can take Bleach, Drew.
You want to go first?
Now you could go.
So Hunter x Hunter is first. So yeah, let me know when you're ready. 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3,
Okay, go.
2. All right, cool.
Hunter x Hunter is a show about a boy named Gong, and he's on the mission to become a hunter and find his dad, who's also a hunter. He's noted as the best hunter in the world. But that's not why Hunter x Hunter is so freaking good. It's one of my favorite shows for the sense that the show is about a universe of characters and how they interact as opposed to solely focusing on Gong and his mission. So you follow Gong, he takes a hunter exam, he passes it, obviously. But then you see him go on this side mission to go get his best friend Killua from his assassin family. And that whole relationship, learning about his assassin family, is interesting as fuck. to see an entire cast dedicated to one purpose and how they interact with each other. Moving on from that, they go on to the Phantom Troop arc, which is another character, Kurapika, whose goal was to assassinate or destroy the Phantom Troop, and you get this cinematic arc that follows a side character, you could argue, with Gong and Killer being the two mains, a side character getting an entire arc dedicated to him, and how the other characters are involved in that. The Phantom Troop are one of the best villains cast in anime, being that they're all uniquely different, and their symbol is the spiders, and they focus on stealing, but they do it in the sense that, like, if one of them dies, they keep moving anyway, as long as the head survives. So, in the Phantom Troop arc, Kurapika gets the upper hand on the spiders, and we get to see this super cinematic sequence where the villains actually fucking lose. Even though you didn't expect Kurapika to have the ability to defeat them, the show works Kurapika up to a point where he's strong enough to defeat the troop, and you should watch it and see what happens. The final arc that people love, the ant arc, builds up this big cascade of people being slaughtered by chimera ants, or demon ants you could call them, and the ants evolve every time they slaughter humans, working to the very end where they make this all-powerful ant who's a humanoid, and the only way he's defeated is by the strongest hunter in the Hunter Association. So it's a whole arc showing how humanity has to come together to defeat impending destruction while Gong is still looking for his dad.
Hey, there you.
Fuck, yo, Hunter, I try to go through every arc.
Ooh, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Fuck. All right, Drew. You got Bleach. You ready?
Hold it down.
Ready? Go.
Cool. For those of you guys who have not seen Bleach, the show is about a Kichigo named Ichigo Kurosaki. Ichigo Kurosaki is a character that just goes about trying to discover himself throughout this show. There's no necessarily any goal that he has set forth, only because everything that happens is off of a whim and a development towards that goal from circumstances that meet him instead of him proactively seeking these circumstances. So I think that's in itself a unique way that a shonen had begun. It's not him going out seeking, it's things that happen to his life that all happen only because of his circumstances and him not knowing about where he comes from, his origin. And so as he goes on throughout their show, he is unraveling his origin. Why I think that Bleach is so dope is because, much to my competitor, the arcs that they lay out are pretty well versed and pretty well thought out and pretty well executed. So, an example of that is in the first arc, where Ichigo is confronted by these people that come from a world of Shinigami. If you don't know, Shinigami are basically a Japanese version of Reaper. There's Shinigami that are part of this world called Soul Society, where they come and meet this person who is in the real world, who has been helping and aiding in Ichigo taking out demons for a while. They come and retrieve this person, but they do it in an oppressive way and tell them that she's going to be punished. Ichigo doesn't like that, so he says, you guys can't come, or you guys can't take her. He fights back, loses, and does whatever he can in his will to bring her back and try in order for them to not execute him or change their mind.
10 seconds.
The arc ends with him changing their mind and him defeating the person that was supposed to have her back and ended up feeding her to the people who were
time. That was cool. O'Neal, are you ready for your 1 minute?
Showtime.
Here we go.
Oh, despite Bleach being super popular in the early 2000s, many would say that Hunter x Hunter was the foundation for most shonen that we grew up to love. Hunter x Hunter was released in the early 80s, and all of these ideas that you've seen in your favorite show, Naruto with Uchiha, Dragon Ball Z, and all these other shonens, most likely got some ideas from Hunter x Hunter. And most authors will cite Hunter x Hunter as being a big inspiration for their work. Bleach, despite being super popular, I don't think it ended very well with the way they wrapped up the arcs. When I look at Bleach, I don't see many significant scenes or fight scenes that I think were great or anything like that. Despite Hunter not having crazy fight scenes, the narration and the way the story is told makes up for that. And you don't really need big spectacle when you have good story. Bleach uses good spectacle, or tries to use good spectacle, to make up for a lackluster story about a boy who receives powers and has to deal with it.
Time.
Damn, that was tough.
Are you ready, Andrew? Are you ready?
As ever, Yes.
Okay, cool. Here we go.
Cool. So, Bleach, granted, what your perspective is that it uses spectacle to unravel his story. No, the spectacle of it is just the fight scenes rather than just spectacle. Is just to bolster some of the animation ability that they have. They made some of the people in the show who were hyped up from the jump actually compete and give the viewer what they wanted and show them, yeah, this nigga is really about his shit. So they showed you that in the fight scenes. Now, to go against your point about Ichigo being some person who just randomly gets into all these altercations, no. The point is Ichigo doesn't know his past. That's how all these things keep coming towards him. And as these things are coming towards him, he's understanding why these things are approaching him. So as he's unraveling his past, he's really unraveling himself and discovering why these things are approaching him and why his character is the way it is.
Whoo! Fuck. That was closer than I thought. But I'm gonna have to give this to Hunter x Hunter.
I was worried on that one.
I'm gonna have to give that to Hunter.
The foundation one got me.
He squeaked out. Yeah, that foundation argument
fucked up because you didn't mention that it's not done.
Yeah.
No, I mean it did what it's supposed to do.
Nah, bro.
It did what it's supposed to do. The anime said, I'm gonna find my dad. He found his dad.
Okay, you're right. I was just thinking. I wasn't gonna. If I was arguing against Hunter, that's the first thing I put.
This shit not done, nigga.
But
that foundation argument was the strongest argument I've heard.
Yeah, because
the foundation one, I knew as soon as he said
it's hard to argue against the foundation.
It is.
It's hard to argue against Michael Jordan, man. When you trying to argue for Kobe, LeBron, dog. You know what I'm saying? It happens.
Early 80s, boy. Hunter x Hunter's early 80s.
Next matchup. We have Code Geass, the anime selected by Andrew, I believe.
Back to back.
Yeah.
My Hero Academia.
And then My Hero Academia anime chosen by myself.
Man. So, you want me to take Code Geass for you?
So.
You got it? I bet.
No, hell no. He nominated Code Geass.
That's his shit. Oh, my fault.
Yeah, he nominated Code Geass. What are we talking about? What? I don't know. Andrew defending that. Who's going first? Yeah, he should go first for that shit. Come on now.
He just finished, so you go.
Wow.
He just finished talking, bro. Give him his break. Alright, showtime in 1, 2, go.
My Hero is anime that resonates with me personally because I'm a fan of comic books and I feel like it's the anime that's very close to Mirror's comic books. So it's a hero world and where everybody has a quirk and the main character, Deku, Midoriya, however you say, Midoriya, however you say his name, whatever, he doesn't have a quirk, he gets a quirk and now he wants to be a hero. Cool. He's a dope ass protagonist regardless of what O'Neil and Andrew believe. And all that stuff. So what My Hero does greater than almost any other anime outside of like Attack on Titan and a few others is that the emotional element and the stakes are the highest. So you have a society in which is so dependent on one hero. I don't know if you guys are a fan of Justice League. I mirror All Might to Superman. That even the Justice League knows that without Superman, they're not shit. So in the anime, they know without All Might, they're not shit. So what happens in My Hero is All Might, he runs his course. He can't be a superhero anymore. And now the whole superhero world is in a frenzy and villains are rising because they know that All Might can't fight them anymore. So they're trying to take over the hero society and destroy heroes. Perfectly fine with that. That's the same. I can mirror that to, once again, I can say Justice League and stuff like that. So they just start handing out hero licenses and they're trying to find the next All Might. A lot of people, the dynamic between All Might and Deku is what I believe is very dynamic in the show. All Might believes in Deku, and nobody believes in Deku. Deku doesn't even believe in Deku most of the time. He always acknowledges that people are greater than him, and he has a lot of flaws, and that he puts himself through a lot of psychological abuse. But I think that's great for him as a protagonist because it shows his strength, his resolve, and his determination. I think the villains are dope. I think the abilities are dope. The people have abilities that have actual drawbacks. Like their actual drawbacks to their abilities are built through their biology. So it's not like, oh, if you have spiritual pressure, you just run out of spiritual pressure, you can't make it move anymore. It's just like, yo, if you actually exhaust yourself, and I wasted my time, you got it.
Time, boy.
You got it.
You made some solid points. I remember some of them. Drew, you ready?
Ready.
Showtime.
Cool. So for those of you guys who have not watched Code Geass, the show is about a Britannian boy. His name is Lelouch v. Britannia. What happens in the beginning of the show is that his family dies from his mom and... Oh, actually, not his family. I'm sorry. Just his mom dies. And what he does is he goes out on this journey of revenge in order to get back to his family. And not only does he go about this journey of revenge, but he goes out in this journey of liberating his younger sister and himself so that they can live in a world where fucked up shit doesn't have to happen like that to him or his sister. So the way he goes about doing this is that when under circumstances he gains his power and ability from a witch, or what they call it in the beginning, in which he can have this ultimate power of controlling people and have them fall under his direct demand and spell. And he uses this power to orchestrate an army in which he can topple the world that in the government and everything that exists now in order to build this world. And he goes about it by going through a series of victories and plotting and making strategic plans, whether that be the conflict of himself fighting, using people, whatever he had to do by any means necessary, clawing to get to his goal. He used Japanese people as a piggyback for why he justified his the shitty shit that he did, all for the justify the means of building a peaceful world. Why I think that's dope is because it showed an inner conflict of his resolve. So Lelouch didn't necessarily want to be a bad guy and do all this shitty shit, but he said, know it, by any means necessary, I will do whatever it takes to build up a world of peace, whether that be using people, throwing people away, no matter what. The end result is what it's going to be, and that's we're going to live liberated and free, and I will be clean of everything once the task is done.
Woo, boy! That Lelouch be Britannia, nigga. Yo, you gotta come hard. I ain't gonna cap, my nigga. You gotta come hard on this rebuttal. You ready? Mm-hmm. Go.
All right, so like I said, my hero is a society full of heroes, but the concept of the concept of a true hero is what's prevalent in My Hero. So essentially, there's people who have powers who start their agencies and they get paid for rescuing people. A lot of us will be like, yo, that's not really a fucking hero to the concept that we're thinking of. You do good shit just for doing good shit. So All Might is actually the only hero, professional hero who's actually considered that. He just rescues people in Midoriya, and a lot of other younger heroes strive to be that way. Another concept is hero breeding. There's a character in My Hero. His name is Todoroki. He has ice powers and fire powers. That's only because his father actually made sure that he would have both those abilities. I feel like that was created. Like I said, I also like to speak on the allure of fucking All Might. Damn, dog. Damn, man. I lost it.
Damn, bro.
I lost it, bro.
You off.
I lost it,
you
bro.
You want to do your rebuttal or?
Please, come on.
I lost it.
You got a minute.
I lost it, bro. I lost it.
Cool. So,
Man, fuck this.
why I think that that Code Geass won this round is because of the relatability of Code Geass. So a lot of black people would actually relate to this. So in Code Geass, you have Lelouch, right, who wants to topple the world by any means necessary. On the other hand, you have Suzaku, a person that wants to topple the society by going into the society and changing it from the outside in. Now, as you can see, from the inside out. And as you can see, the discrepancy in that is that you have characters in the real world relatability. You have some black people who wish to topple the society, being from the outside, like Malcolm, who wants to build up black people as a nation and attack, rather than people who become police officers and try to develop the system or try to infiltrate the system.
Fuck you, bro. This nigga brought up Malcolm, nigga. Nah, you lost, kick. Oh, dude. This nigga brought up Malcolm. Send him out.
Whatever. Let's do it. I'm here for the next one.
Sweep him up. That's the same man, baby.
My hero back to Japan with that shit. He said, man, get that
man. Like I said, I'm here for the next one.
Bro,
this is my heavy hitter.
He made Code Geass sound like a god tier anime, my nigga. I ain't gonna hold you.
Man, I'm here for the next one.
Final battle.
We'll see Code Geass again.
Final battle. Yeah,
we'll see Code Geass again.
Final battle is gonna be Avatar versus Dragon Ball Z.
What I want to say is,
man,
guys, do we want to keep this to 2 rounds going into the...
No. We got one more match, and then we got one more match.
I'm saying after this.
Next episode.
No, I'm saying the next round. Are we gonna shorten it to 1 round? Rebuttal?
Oh, to 1 minute?
I mean, we can
Man,
figure
No,
that
not
out.
1 minute. I'm saying, do you want to just have 2 rounds? Like you go and then I go and that's it.
No, we
Oh,
gotta do rebuttal.
man.
So we're gonna do the same thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Next battle is Avatar and DBZ.
So Avatar is anime / show that Dimitri chose, and then DBZ is O'Neal.
Dragon Ball Z,
I can't
boy.
wait for this one.
So O'Neal definitely has to go first. I definitely went last round.
I got you.
So
Akira Toriyama.
switch that to 2.
I got it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
right, when you ready.
Yeah, I'm here for this. All right, nerds, light them up.
Dragon Ball Z needs no introduction. Written by Akira Toriyama, this is one of the, if not the most popular anime in the Western Hemisphere. Everyone from young generations to next generations, even them redoing it with Super for the future generations, has heard of Dragon Ball Z. Many new shows take credit from Dragon Ball Z. It falls into the category similar to Hunter, being a foundational anime, and probably even bigger foundation, seeing that it's anime starting with Dragon Ball in the 90s was able to run hundreds of episodes into Dragon Ball Z. Next point, creativity. The Saiyan race and the entire universe of Dragon Ball Z is creative as fuck. As much as you might knock it, people knock the show all the time. But think about it. It's a show with a universe of different planets and different species. You got the Namekians, where Piccolo's from. You got the people like Frieza's race. You got the Saiyans like Goku and Vegeta. And all of them work together and intertwine on Earth to create this masterpiece of a show. Third point, the fight scenes. The Dragon Ball Z's Kamehameha wave is probably the most iconic anime attack in anime history. You can't name another show with a more iconic attack than the Kamehameha wave, as much as you want to stunt all day long. Not only that, the rivalry between Goku and Vegeta showed people the parallel of 2 different personalities, although being opposites, coming together and having to work together to be the strongest people on Earth, even introducing fusing. I've never seen a show fuse characters and have even cooler characters than the original, Gogeta and Vegito. He introduced fusion earrings with the Patora fucking earrings. And then a fusion dance that if you fuck it up, you fuck up the fusion. If that's not creativity, then I don't fucking know. Next, Are
you choking, bro? Time. There we go.
Fuck, that was
I
good
would ask
enough.
you to please leave your comments to yourself.
Hey, I was asked a question, bro.
That was good enough.
Question.
That was good enough. I didn't write down nothing for that one. That was good enough. On top of the dome.
This might be the best number. This might be the best first round ever.
Go ahead.
Right now.
You got Avatar the Airbender.
You ready, Meech?
Yeah.
Kick it.
When I'm talking about Avatar, I know you heard me speak when we ranked Avatar. I'm going to just start off with the creativity. So I think Avatar's creativity is immaculate, unmatched by almost any anime ever made. And I would argue that to any anime to the day I die, Attack on Titan, Full Metal Alchemist, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, all that shit. So let me just jump right into it. Avatar, you have a world of 4 elements: wind, fire, earth, water. Each element has a second, almost the airbenders are wiped out. Every other element, actually Loki develops their own second form. The firebenders had lightning bending, the earthbenders had metal bending, and the waterbenders had blood bending. The full moon enhances the water bending. The comet that comes around every 100 years enhances the fire bending. There's on a solar eclipse, the firebenders lose their ability, and on a full moon, did I say that the full moon? But there's a spirit world. There's a spirit world in there. There's chi blocking, which actually stops people who actually can't bend can fight people who, and if they hit them in a certain pressure points, they stop them from bending. You have the Fire Lord, who everybody is scared, who oppresses the whole entire government. The southern water tribe and the northern water tribe. Complete different sides of the earth, complete different societies. The southern water tribe still live in igloos. The northern water tribe has this whole immaculate society. You have the earthbenders who are, most of them that are captured are in the middle of the ocean on ships out of nowhere, so they can't earthbend. But when they find out they can earthbend, whatever, they take it over. You have the lineage, the Avatar lineage. And in the Avatar state, in which the current Avatar can call in the strength of all the previous Avatar to defeat its enemies. If you get killed in the Avatar state, the Avatar lineage ceases to exist. You have the Kyoshi warriors who are inspired by Avatar Kyoshi, who are Kyoshi Island, and they legit defend Kyoshi Island from any raids from Fire Nation, for Firebenders at any time. You have Avatar Zuko. The character development Avatar is immaculate. Zuko, Aang, Katara, Toph, Sokka.
O'Neal, you ready for your rebuttal?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Let's see what you got. Start.
With Avatar being as creative as it is, it lacks in a few areas. First, I feel like it has this building of tension when Avatar gets super angry, but they somehow stops him from going all the way and doing what in most shows would really happen. In the case in point, when he turned up in the water village, he turned to the water spirit. Instead of actually destroying the Fire Nation, he simply just brushed them away in the ocean, resorting to a peaceful act. Despite him being a monk, I don't think that's acceptable. In Dragon Ball Z, when Krillin... When Frieza destroyed Namek and tried and cut Krillin in half, and Goku went fucking Super Saiyan, that's what really should happen when a character or a main character gets pissed off to another level. You go to the point of destruction. Goku turned Super Saiyan in that scene and lived up to the damage he received from the enemy. Also, Dragon Ball Z has a better cast of characters that are more creative. Gohan getting his own arc to shine and become stronger than the main cast in the Cell Saga. The villains in Dragon Ball Z being more creative. Damn, boy. That minute.
Let's go.
Woo. All right, start it up, Mitchie.
Dragon Ball is the anime that lacks in one crucial aspect. The anime dialogue. Dialogue is trash. It's awful. It's just a lot of spaces. The grammar doesn't flow. Spectacle. Dragon Ball Z. O'Neal hates spectacle, but Dragon Ball Z is an anime that lives exceptionally on spectacle. Spirit bombs, Kamehamehas, galactic donuts, the exploding donuts, fusions, instant transmission. All that shit just looks cool, but that's what it thrives on. So now we go with Goku. Goku's the only character that actually goes through any real character development. Actually, him and Gohan. Trunks destroyed Frieza in a matter of 30 seconds, but then after that, after every moment after that, Trunks has become an irrelevant character. He's my favorite character in Dragon Ball Z, and I barely even watch the show. That's a pure 110% fact. Aang, like I said, he gets angry, he goes into Avatar state, he wants to kill everything, but he actually battles inside of himself because he's a monk and he was taught peace and he likes to stay true to his beliefs. So like I said, the characters are really true to themselves. They're not boosted. The power levels aren't diminished. The logical consistency in the show outmatches Dragon Ball Z at any level.
Damn. Woo! I gave him that alley with the fucking monk. Yeah, I should have kept that to myself.
Nietzsche lit it up. Second round, boy.
That's cat, nigga.
Nietzsche lit it up. The second round,
nigga.
boy. Damn, you gave him the oop.
I gave him the alley. I was thinking that too. I was like, I shouldn't even say this shit.
Gave him the oop.
Yo.
Damn, man. I'm not gonna lie. First round, O'Neal had me on it. He had me stringing along up until the second round. Because in the second round, Nietzsche brought that heat. I'm going to have to give it to Avatar in this
Woo,
one.
boy.
Damn.
That's crazy. That was
a comeback. That was a comeback. I give you that.
God, I had to. I was shook, bro. That was my heavy hitter,
Fuck.
man. I
blew it at the round. I had him in the first half.
Yeah, I was shook. I had to write something down.
I was like, oh, damn.
I had to write something down.
But I fucked up. I ain't saved no ammo for the second round, nigga. I lit it up first round.
What you should have did was you should have played off the moments from Dragon Ball. Yeah. The iconic moments that we all know. The father-son Kamehameha.
Oh, man.
The fucking Great Saiyan Man.
Damn.
All that shit, man. Him versus Vegeta.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of shook. after that first round. I turned up.
Yeah.
But yo, that was the Bento circuit, and this was just a random idea Dimitri had, and yo, we love doing this.
Yeah. This is just round one. That's just round one. Next episode we do round two.
We realized halfway through, we can't do this in one episode.
Yeah.
So this part one, y'all.
I'm gonna tell y'all the winners in case you forgot after all that banter. Round one is the phase 2. Round 1 is going to be Attack on Titan and Death Note. The second team is going to be Pokemon versus Naruto. Next will be Full Metal versus Hunter x Hunter. And then finally Code Geass versus Avatar.
Yeah, why Avatar got a hard ass road to the final, bro? Like,
shit crazy.
Bracket set up, boy.
Avatar gotta beat Code Geass, Hunter x Hunter.
You assume that Hunter x Hunter beat Full Metal?
I mean, shit.
All right, we'll see.
But yo, you know what's so dope about this shit? We can reflect on this real quick. like you gotta come with heat every argument.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like this was dope as
Yo,
fuck.
and the crazy thing, it gets harder and harder after every round.
Yeah, because next video we can't say the same shit.
You can't say the same shit.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so-
And yo, the time restriction is what has me.
Yeah.
yo.
You gotta
Like,
prioritize,
when
bro.
the 1 minute hits. That 1 minute goes by quick. Like
Facts.
the 2 minutes, you got a little wiggle room.
Yeah.
That 1 minute, you can't
you
waste
gotta prioritize
a second.
And depending on the show, you gotta how much backstory you gotta give. Like Pokemon, I ain't gotta say shit.
Yeah,
It's
Bro,
Pokemon.
so this dude, they spent this whole time on Parasite.
Parasite,
So,
Nigga
Parasite.
wrote a whole book on a Parasite, nigga. A whole audio book on Parasite,
You would
bro.
think O'Neal wrote this shit.
That show is so lit. Y'all niggas go watch Parasite. So Crunchyroll, bootleg, or whatever. Go watch Parasite. That's just fire.
word.
So next time I'm bringing Parasite back. Whenever
Facts.
we do Bento Circuit 2. I'm bringing it from the trench, my nigga. And I'm not explaining nothing. I'm just getting into the shit. But yo, we hope y'all enjoyed that. Bento Circuit episode 2 is definitely gonna drop with continuing this tournament, seeing who wins. Yo, if y'all like this video, which I'm assuming y'all will,
Commercial time.
yo, drop comments. Let us know with when next time we do a circuit, what shows you want to see in it. You feel me? We could do different shows. This circuit didn't have Dr. Stone. This circuit didn't have
Fire Force,
Fire Force. Like it didn't have some of your favorites, maybe.
Black Clover, none of them.
So let us know what you want to see in the next
rep your
circuit,
set.
and we try to rep it for you. Feel me? Mm-hmm. Facts. This shit was lit, bro.
It was dope.
I ain't gonna hold you.
Alright, so
Follow us on
You wanna hit
Twitter,
him
Instagram _Black Bento. Tweet us, DM us, jump in the Discord. The Discord links in the video description. The city. And yo, hope you enjoyed.
yeah, it's your boy Meech.
Word, Drew Bento out.
Facts.